Hello, YouTube people. I have been spending my days backbreaking, painstaking, that's the word, painstaking hours uploading comics. And I've been doing it not for my benefit, but for your benefit, you see. Because I want to know where the best places are to post. And what do they got for you, right? The last time I did one of these videos was, I don't know how long ago. Smack Jeeves was still around. If you know Smack Jeeves, yeah, that's how old my last video is. And people still like it and comment on it, and I'm like, damn, Smack Jeeves is around, Tapas is going by Tapastic. It is old AF. So I sat down and I looked into everything that's going on the current comic scene, and there are a lot of places to post, so many, and I don't think it is worth your time to post on every single platform. I really don't, because it is actually a lot of work to post onto platforms. It can take like a whole day to upload like 30 pages onto like 4 different platforms for me. So yeah, so I've been posting on a whole bunch of them, and I have been posting various comics on them. So I have some all ages comics that I'm posting, I have some teen, and I have mature, and I can give you a little bit of a wide breadth of experience here. I'm assuming there's timestamps. I shouldn't be assuming that, because I would have to put those in there, and I'm kind of lazy. No, I'm not lazy. I'm busy uploading all these goddamn comics. Oh, sorry. All these gosh darn comics. Okay, so I have organized them thusly, okay? We got your infinite scrollers. We got our Webtoon-esque, Webtoon-style comic posting sites. We got our social media platforms, and we got the old platforms, the ancients. So, first and foremost, let's talk about Webtoon Canvas, because I'm assuming you're posting on Canvas and not like Webtoon originals, because like clearly, you know, you wouldn't be looking for various places to post if that was the case, right? So Webtoon is probably the largest amount of traffic you can get. It's got a very big audience. It's got a heavy reader base. So like some places tend to be like more creator focused, and when it's more creator focused, not a lot of people are reading, most people are posting. So you don't really want that. You want somewhere where readers go to read, and Webtoon is definitely a place where people go to read. I will give it that. It has a user base that's very active and engaged. I get a lot more comments on Webtoon than I get anywhere else. Okay, with like one exception, which I will get into. And I guess your mileage may vary, because like you can get lots of engagement like that, but also there's not a lot of control over what happens in your comment section. I don't think you have control over it. I haven't dug deep in. You can report people, but I don't know how well, like I haven't seen the moderation tools. I guess. So my first experience with Webtoon was getting one of my comics, like the first scene taken down because it was too gory and bloody. And as of this week, I don't know what the deal is with Webtoon anymore, because they have just put out a new like rating system. Like you can like rate your age rate your comic with more nuance than before. So I'm not sure how that goes, but I would say that they've been a little like inconsistent and hard to follow as far as like TOS goes. So if you've got like a comic that's got a lot of gore or naked people, let's say, I don't know if Webtoons is the place to go. I like to think of Webtoons as kind of like a social media place for posting comics, rather than a place that you should consider your hub, I guess. You have very little control over Webtoon. They will do as Webtoons will do, and you kind of exist within their ecosystem, and you don't want to fully do that. You don't want to fully commit, especially if they're not paying you to fully commit. As far as monetization goes, I do like that Webtoons allows you to link your Patreon below, so there is that. I wouldn't get too worried about like this super like program or whatever. Like it's not gonna work out for you. Like those kind of things never work out for you as far as like getting large amounts of money. There's way better if you're getting enough like super likes to be making like a good amount of cash, then like there's probably an easier way to get cash. That's all that's all I would say on that front. What else? Yeah, along with that, there's like the creative freedom aspect of Webtoon and all vertical scrolling sites, where they do have like preferences for obviously like the vertical format, and you will do better if you put your comics into vertical format. And like I did okay in the past not doing vertical scroll, but that was 10 years ago, so I don't know what it's like now. And I do know that for one, vertical scroll makes your posts look bigger than they actually are, which is very helpful because it gives like an illusion that you're posting more. And also it's just better on mobile usually or whatever. Anything else important that I have to say about Webtoon? Webtoon Canvas, Webtoons, Line Webtoons. I guess I would say that like I don't want to be conceited in saying this, but I would say that my experience with discoverability might be different than other people's, because I do get thrown into the little like pages. I've seen my comics on like the front facing section of like Canvas, like staff pics and stuff, so that would definitely change my opinion. But the fact that I can even get onto like staff pics and stuff is itself kind of a plus for me. Because like I guess we could move into Tapas. Tapas is very, very similar to Webtoon Canvas. It's got a similar thing to like the super like system with the ink. I hate ink. I just hate that payment plan model. It just gives me the ick personally, you know. No hate whatsoever, but I just don't like it. So Tapas, I feel like you used to be able to get a lot more traction on Tapas. I find that I get like no viewers, like barely any viewers. I'm kind of there just because like I've been there for a long time, but I was kind of thinking about it today where like Tapas buries creator like the community content so much. Like it's just really hard to find, I guess. And like I only really find success in places where like I've been posting for a long time, like Magpie, where I have like 5,000 followers already. So like I get like, I don't know, like 100 likes maybe. I don't know. It's tiny. That's what a hiatus will do to you. But like, yeah, I personally don't know if Tapas is actually worth your time. Currently, their updating thing is kind of glitchy if you get past a certain amount of updates. I don't know. It's really hard to link to your own like Patreon and stuff. It's not as front-facing as Webtoon is. And just the readership just isn't there. I think the only thing I find better than Line is that like I find the audience can be a little more mature, I guess. Oh yeah, the audience is mature, and there's always been like a lot more customization as far as like doing more mature content. But Webtoon is starting to roll out something similar, so I don't know anymore. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Tapas just, I don't know, it's just not worth. That's my opinion on the matter. Unless you've already established yourself there. Because, like, I used to get a lot more recognition on Tapas, like, years ago. And there was more interaction from, like, the site itself with me. But, like, I just don't find that as much anymore. So the next infinite scroller is, or vertical scroll, whatever you want to call it, would be GlobalComix. It is very small. There's barely any readership on there. There's like, it's hard to navigate. I like their uploading system. I find it's very clean and easier to use than a lot of the other ones, and a lot better for doing like batch uploads. However, like, there's just no one there. It lets you schedule releases and do premium content. I guess that's kind of one of its draws, but it doesn't doing premium content doesn't really help you if there's no one there, you know? I would just watch it, like maybe it eventually pops off, but right now I don't know. So after GlobalComix, the next kind of smaller one that I know about is NamiComi or whatever, NamiComi. It's similar in that it is very small. It's very small. It's in beta right now, so there's a lot of difficulties with it. It gives you good tagging for like content or whatever, like content warnings. Like it does that. It's nice and broken up. But yeah, it's very small. I guess kind of the philosophy of NamiComi is that it wants to be creator centered. It wants to be centered around creators, and they don't want to do a model in which like they don't want to have like a Webtoon originals type section. They want it to be very creator driven, which is fine. And like, I think it's an admirable goal. I just don't know about it quite yet since it's so early. So I would watch it. And though it advertises itself as the only platform that is creator focused, that is not true. I think that aspect rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because it's kind of like, it's marketing speak, and it I don't know. And then there's like a bunch of other little ones that range from being like scams to inaccessible, and they tend to have the same issues as like GlobalComix and NamiComi, where they're just too small to be worth your time. You'd be better off spending your time working on comics. Like, instead of wasting your time uploading to like a bunch of websites, you could make new updates and be able to update multiple times on a more lucrative site, if that makes sense. So that one's that. The next I will say, the next I wanted to talk about was social media. I think there are some good places on social media to post your comics. I don't know tons about like comedy, like single panel kind of comics. I think those do well on specific social medias. But if we're talking about like narrative long form comics, which is most likely what you are doing if you're here, I think Tumblr is a good site. Tumblr is surprisingly good. I would say posting to Tumblr, setting up on Tumblr will do you so much more than setting up on like any of like the smaller platforms that don't have like traction yet. And I would say it's way more, it's better than even Tapas at this point, honestly, because it gives you access to people who aren't just creators, right? Like I was saying, you want users that are readers, not just users that are creators. And because Tumblr is all about fandom and art and stuff, it's got that kind of aspect to it. studying your tags, learning different like places to tag can be a good way to reach out to like new audience. The drawback is, of course, that Tumblr is not set up really well to post comics. It's not a comic site. That said, while you exist within Tumblr, you also have a lot of customization within Tumblr that you don't have on other social medias. You still can make a pretty unique little website. There's like tons of different themes and stuff that are easy to work with, or you can get in depth with like the HTML yourself on Tumblr. But you also have your posts within the actual like app, which is good, and people are on it. And though it's hard to like interlink your comics, you can still schedule them. And because it's like multimedia kind of posts, there's a lot more you can do with them than just posting on one of like the infinite scroll vertical comic sites. You got all sorts of fun you could do, or you can even just use it as like a linking site. I am live recording this, and I breaking news from Tuesday. Not the day, the person. But Tumblr has communities now, and I have a community set up for webcomic artists. Okay, well, Tuesday Art has a community. Well, there you go. Fancy. It'll do you a lot better, I think, than all of the other sites that are even like designated for comics. And yeah, like I was saying, very customizable, and you just gotta kind of find the right tags, right communities, and you can get traction, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know. The next social media I would recommend is Patreon, because Patreon is actually a very good place to post. You can set up on Patreon, and it's very easy to set up collections. Like, you can tag different things as collections, so you can have all of your pages end up being in a specific area, and you can also set them to public release after a certain point. Patreon has a free membership section now, as well as the paid membership, so people can still subscribe to your Patreon. You can still subscribe to my Patreon even, and you can deliver updates that way. The drawback to Patreon is, of course, like it is Patreon. People will assume that they have to pay. I don't know how much people are spending their time just scrolling Patreon. I don't know. I'm not someone who does that, but it is a good place to post your comics. I think it's a worthwhile place to do it. I don't know much about like other similar sites to Patreon, but I would look into those too. And this is me plugging my Patreon, where you can get a week early free updates by just subscribing. No money at all, and you get a week ahead on all of my comics. And then if you do pay, you can get 2 weeks ahead. That's crazy. And if you pay even more, I will critique your comics on stream, and we'll have a great time. The last two I want to talk about are the ones I talk about on stream a lot. They're very old. Well, one of them I know is very old. I don't know how old the one is. They're old. They've been around for a while, and they are very community focused, and that is the Duck Webcomics and ComicFury. I will start with the Duck. The Duck is... how do I describe it? The Duck is incredibly small. It is a very small site to post your comics. Similar to how a lot of these other ones are small. But I will say that it is a small community. It's a very dedicated group of people that have been working on comics for a long time, and you can post your own comics there for free. I find that the website is difficult to use, but it is possible to make a pretty cute customized site on it. and it's pretty easy to do it. It's not difficult. It's just a little confusing, a little archaic, I guess I would describe it as. But it is doable, and it's a nice community. There's forums, and there's like weekly featured comics. I don't know if it's weekly, actually. There's featured comics that happen. They have a podcast that they do. I've had my comics be featured before, and I've had the little podcast, like they made musical themes for my comic, which was very cool. It's just very community. And while it is small, like those other ones I've mentioned, like it still can be worth your time. I would say another good aspect of it is like it's not algorithmically focused, you know, like whatever is being posted right now is what's being posted right now, and it's what you see on the page. That's nice, I guess. And it's small enough that like you won't get drowned out really quick. If you're really new to making comics, amateur, I guess would be the word. Like I think it's still like it's a welcoming place to like learn and grow and start out, I would say. And if you're looking for like community in the place you're posting, I would say it might be worth a look-see. But with the caveat that I have so much trouble uploading to this site, I'll be real. I had to like re-upload a bunch of stuff because like all of the pages just didn't show up. It was very strange. But I just support a little community, okay? That's all. So the number one place I would post to would be ComicFury. It is my absolute favorite place to post out of all of them. It's a very welcoming place. There's very few restrictions on what your comic can be and what you can post, except for some like obvious things. ComicFury doesn't have an app because basically all of the ones that will let you have a lot of range in what you can post won't have apps, or the stuff you post won't be able to like be shown on apps just because of the way that the app store works, basically. Like how Tumblr was taken off for a bit and then it had the whole apocalypse, you know. It's just weird terms of service in like the app store. So ComicFury's been around a long time, and it is very creator focused. It is just very good. Okay, so I would say like hands down, it has like the best uploading system of all of them. I like that like NamiComi can like intuit your schedule, but like the mass uploading on ComicFury is so easy. So at the very least, like even if you don't have time to do anything else, like I can set up 50 pages in like a minute. You don't have to post them one at a time. You can do bundles of posts, so like you could have a post that has multiple images, and you can't do that on a mass upload. But if all of your files are named properly, it will name them. It will name every update based on like what you named the file, or you can edit it, of course. You type in basically what your schedule is, what day you want to start on it, and then you just hit the little thing, and it organizes it. You say like what chapter you want to organize everything into, and it just goes. It just works perfectly. And yes, there's a chaptering system. There's a great archive feature. There's bookmarking. There's an RSS feed, which is old, but RSS feeds are amazing. There's no advertising, but you can put advertisements on if you want. Like if you have your own kind of widget or whatever, you can host ads on there, but you don't have to. It's not built in. You basically get a whole free website to work with. Like you can do so much on your site. I have multiple different web pages on my ComicFuries. There's a transcript feature, so you can add like a transcript for all of your comics. You can have keywords. You could tag all of the different characters on like which pages like have specific characters, so you can like create like a search system with that. You can also create your own customized variables. And so like one customized variable I have is that my comics have different themes so that the website's responsive. So like, let's say like when different when the scenes change in my comic, the website like color scheme changes with it because I've made that a custom variable. I think ComicFury can be a bit intimidating because of all that it can do. Also, it looks a little old at first, I guess, was something I felt. But it is heckin' good. You don't have to keep all of their branding on your site either. You can take it off if you want. You can choose to advertise on it or not. You don't have to have something that says ComicFury on the site. It's good. And then the actual site itself has the actual like ComicFury site has like what would you call that? There's there's the main hub site where your own personal ComicFury sites are connected to, and that's where you can see all the different comics that are being posted on ComicFury. You can have comments. You have complete control over your comment section. You can set it to only post comments if you approve them. You can delete comments. You have your own author comment, which you can format however you like. You have an author blog section that's easy to add to it, where you can post like your big updates about the comic. It's very simple to create like a character page where you list all of the characters on your comic with a little picture. It has stats, yes. They have stats you can look at, or you can set up your own. You can use like other options. You can connect. I forget how to do it. Yeah, it is just incredibly customizable, and it also has like a forum and like a community involved that can help you if you want to do anything fancy with your site. Like you can reach out, and there are tons of people that can help you. The creators of the site are very active. The creator, I think it's one person actually. They're very active on the forums. It's very simple to add other people onto a comic, so you can have an account, and then your friend can have an account, and then you can both edit it or whatever. There's a few different sites that also allow this, I will say, but on ComicFury, there are so many more like customizations even for that. You can really get into the nitty-gritty about what you want different contributors to have access to and what they can or cannot do with the sites. But with that, it's easy to invite someone from the community to help you and look at your code and help with mistakes. You can do all sorts of multimedia stuff on it. You can post GIFs, so you can have animated comics. I don't know, it's just crazy how good it is, and it is completely free, which is wild. Yeah, so that is my pitch for ComicFury. They also don't allow AI art, which is cool. I think that's cool. I would highly recommend you use it, if only for the fact that it is so simple to post on it. There's definitely like things that are more popular on the site or whatever. Oh, right, with the content guidelines and things. You're also able to post like fan work. I know there's lots of fan comics on there too, which is cool. Which is like another reason they can't really have like an app. But yeah, I know there's a whole bunch of other ones. So if you have any that you love, you tell me and I will judge them too. I guess. I have to try Lamoon, I think. I have to try that one. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like the video, give me a little subscription, give me a high five, and check out my comics. They're available on every single website because I worked hard. God damn it. Sorry, gosh darn it. Okay, all right. Thank you.